poor girl struggles with her dress, and the billionaire CEO falls madly in love. Before we start the story, leave a comment below. Where are you watching from? Enjoy the story. Lily Collins was running down the sidewalk like she was in the Olympic hurdle finals, except the hurdles were her own legs, a broken purse strap, and a loose ballet flat that went flap flap with every step. Her phone kept buzzing, buried between a pack of mints and an uncapped lipstick. It was her friend Megan, sending messages so desperate they felt like emergency evacuation alerts. "Lily, you have exactly 5 minutes to get here." Lily tried to type back while running but ended up sending something so unreadable that autocorrect changed it to "bringing cheddar and mashed potatoes." She gave up. "Survive first, explain later." When the massive glass building of Smith Global Group came into view, Lily felt a tiny spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she still had time. But the second she saw her reflection in the glass, that hope shattered. No, her eyes widened. No, her dress zipper was in the front. The giant clothing tag, big enough to be a restaurant receipt, was sticking to her chest like an invitation card, and the neckline, which was supposed to be in the back, was now strategically misplaced. How did I even? She spun around, trying to check her back in the reflection, almost causing a pedestrian accident with her improvised dance routine. Trying to fix it right then and there, she began a series of frantic movements worthy of a fashion reality show. She tugged at the hem, twisted the strap, tried to rip off the tag with her teeth, all while muttering nonsense. "I knew I should have worn jeans. Who invented giant tags? They should be arrested. I am a walking disaster." Meanwhile, on the top floor, Nicholas Smith, known for his cold demeanor, robot-like schedule, and razor-sharp business instincts, was walking down the hall with his signature "don't talk to me" expression. He was ready for another pointless merger meeting when he glanced out the window, and he saw Lily. What happened in the next 5 seconds would go down in company history. Nicholas Smith, the ice-cold CEO, burst into laughter. A loud, genuine laugh that echoed through the halls, making employees wonder if someone had hacked the office speakers. His assistant, Ethan, rushed in, thinking his boss was having a meltdown. "Mr. Smith, are you okay?" Still clutching his stomach, Nicholas pointed at the window. "Look at this insanity. There's a girl down there fighting her own dress like it's an angry octopus." Ethan peeked outside and saw Lily struggling with her reflection. "I think she's just fixing her outfit," Ethan suggested. "That is not fixing an outfit." Nicholas laughed even harder. "That is an epic battle for fashion survival." The laughter hit so hard that Nicholas had to sit down. "Ethan, cancel my first meeting," he said, still catching his breath. "I need to see this girl up close." Downstairs, Lily finally secured her dress with a bobby pin, creating a look that was somewhere between avant-garde influencer and creative survival. She took a deep breath, stared at her reflection, and declared, "This will have to do." She pushed through the revolving doors with such force that she almost got stuck between the glass panels. The moment she stepped inside, reality hit her. The entire lobby was so sophisticated, even the floor seemed to judge her. The receptionists looked like they had just stepped off the cover of a business magazine. The suits were so perfectly pressed they reflected the ceiling lights. And Lily? Well, Lily looked like she had accidentally wandered in from a backyard barbecue. She walked up to the front desk, trying to move gracefully, but the loose ballet flat kept making its signature flap-flap sound. "Hi, good morning. I'm here for the assistant interview," she said, smiling like someone on the verge of passing out. The receptionist didn't even look up. "Name?" "Lily Collins." The woman pointed with a perfectly manicured finger. 25th floor. Lily stepped into the elevator and finally exhaled. Alone, she looked at her reflection and gave herself a crooked smile. "Everything's under control. Just say little, smile, and don't trip. Easy." The doors opened. Lily stepped out and crashed straight into Nicholas. The impact was so precise that his freshly brewed, perfectly scented, steaming hot coffee turned into a brown waterfall all over his crisp white shirt. Lily froze, dead inside. Nicholas looked down at his ruined shirt, then up at her. The silence that followed felt like time had stopped. "Oh my God! I'll pay for the shirt!" Lily panicked, yanking out a crumpled $20 bill from her purse and trying to shove it into his hand. Nicholas blinked in disbelief. $20? He raised an eyebrow. You think that covers this situation? Lily watched the coffee spill, then the receipt, then his face. Okay, how about 5 installments and some free SVs? Nicholas had to bite his lip to keep from laughing. I'm just trying to get to my interview, she explained, blushing. I'm applying for the assistant position, Lily Collins. Nicholas stepped aside, gesturing toward the interview room door. Oh yeah? Well, good luck, Lily. You're gonna need it. Having no idea who he was, Lily just mumbled a thanks and walked in. It can't get any worse, she thought. Lily stepped into the interview room, already feeling like she had lost the job before even getting it. Her heart was pounding so hard it felt like the soundtrack of a suspense movie. She tried to take a deep breath, but the lingering smell of spilled coffee made her cough. A strong reminder of the disaster in the elevator. The room was large and intimidating, with a glass table so polished that Lily could see her own anxious reflection in it. 3 people sat on the other side looking over her resume, which, by some miracle, was already printed and in their hands. That meant her suffering would begin immediately. Miss Collins, is that right? Asked a woman with a tight bun and the expression of someone who had been sniffing lemons all day. Absolutely right. Lily replied way too enthusiastically, almost saluting. The interview panel exchanged glances. You can start by introducing yourself, said a gray-haired man who looked like he had just stepped out of a courtroom drama. Lily flashed a big smile, flipped her hair back, which accidentally yanked the bobby pin holding her torn dress together, and began. My name is Lily Collins, and I love learning new things and… Before she could continue, her phone, which she thought she had silenced, blared at full volume. And it wasn't just any ringtone. It was a chaotic remix of Happy Birthday mixed with an ambulance siren, a masterpiece personally created by Megan. Panicking, Lily yanked the phone from her bag, pressed all the buttons at once, and accidentally answered the call. Girl, did you get in? Did you spill anything? Megan's voice blasted through the speaker, loud enough for everyone to hear. Lily hung up so forcefully it looked like she was trying to exorcise the phone. I'm so sorry. My friend thinks I died. It's a protocol thing, you know? She let out a nervous laugh. No one joined her. The gray-haired man cleared his throat. Let's continue. What are your greatest skills? Lily tried to think of something impressive, but her mind went completely blank. I can do a really good motorcycle horn impression. She had no idea why she said that. It just came out. Excuse me. The woman with the bun narrowed her eyes. I mean, work-related skills, of course. Lily tried to recover. I'm great at improvising. For example, today, the bobby pin holding my dress together is also great for keeping papers in place. Versatility is my middle name. The interviewer seemed to be processing what she had just said when, suddenly, a strong breeze blew in through the open window. Lily's resume, perfectly positioned on the table, flew straight into the air vent, which sucked it up like a vacuum. On instinct, Lily lunged to grab it and, in the process, knocked over a glass of water, right onto one of the interviewer's documents. Oh my God, I'll dry it. She pulled out a piece of paper from her own bag to help. Except, it wasn't just any paper. It was her grocery list, with words like extra strong laxative, deodorant that actually works, and sanitary pads written in bold. The silence was so thick you could cut it with a knife. I'm extremely organized, as you can see, she said with a hopeful smile. The woman with the bun let out a deep sigh, rubbing her temples. Miss Collins, why do you want to work at Smith Global? This was the question Lily had rehearsed in the mirror, on the bus, in the shower, and even while frying eggs that morning. But at that moment her mind turned into a blank desert, with nothing but a tumbleweed rolling by. Because… She swallowed hard. Because I need to pay my bills, and it would be wonderful to do that without selling homemade fudge on the street. The gray-haired man took off his glasses. You do realize this is a serious multinational company, right? Absolutely, Lily nodded. And that's why I promise that if you hire me, I'll stop selling fudge and put all my energy into this job. Would you like to try one? I brought free samples. And then, as if the universe had scheduled one last dignity test for her, Lily reached into her bag to grab a fudge and pulled out a rolled-up pair of tights instead. That's not a fudge, she muttered, shoving it back in and pretending nothing had happened. The trio was stunned. They had never interviewed anyone like this before. The room fell into an awkward silence when, suddenly, the door swung open, and Nicholas walked in. His shirt was still stained with coffee, and he had a barely concealed smile as he stopped next to the table. Lily looked at him, blinked a few times, and her eyes widened. "You?" she shouted, pointing at Nicholas as if he were a ghost. The interviewers exchanged confused glances. "Do you two know each other?" asked the woman with a tight bun. "He's the coffee guy," Lily accused. Nicholas crossed his arms, clearly amused. "I'm the CEO," he corrected, still smiling. Lily froze for 2 seconds before mumbling, Can I have a nervous breakdown for just a minute?" Nicholas ignored her. "I came here personally to say that the interview can end now." Lily felt the ground disappear beneath her. She knew it. She had ruined everything. "Of course," she murmured, starting to get up. "I understand." "Because she's already hired," Nicholas finished, catching everyone off guard. The entire room went silent. Even Lily forgot to breathe. "But sir, this candidate," the woman with the bun started. "This candidate," Nicholas interrupted, "has exactly what this company needs. Courage, creativity, and the rare ability to turn any ordinary situation into something unforgettable." Lily tried to process what was happening. "So, does this mean?" "Welcome to Smith Global, Lily," Nicholas smiled. "And bring those brigadeiros tomorrow." "I'm curious now." Lily, still frozen in shock, could only reply, "Sure thing, coffee boss." And just like that, the strangest and most successful interview in the company's history was over. Lily walked out of the interview room feeling like she had just survived an earthquake. Her legs were shaking, her mind was spinning, and for some reason, she was still holding the crumpled $20 bill she had tried to hand Nicholas in the elevator. She stared at it and sighed. "Is this a sign from the universe or just proof that I'm a walking disaster?" She muttered to herself while navigating through a sea of impeccably dressed executives who seemed to live in a completely different world. What she didn't know, and would only find out later, was that Nicholas hadn't hired her because of her extraordinary qualifications or her natural talent for chaos. He had no logical reason for hiring her. He just wanted to. From the moment he saw that girl getting tangled in her own dress in the reflection of the building, something inside him, maybe a long-forgotten heart muscle or the part of his brain responsible for humor, decided to wake up. Lily was a breath of fresh air in the otherwise stale, air-conditioned corporate world. When Lily got home, still in shock, Megan was already waiting with a pot of brigadeiro and a barrage of questions. "So, were you fired before or after the interview?" Megan asked, shoving a spoonful of brigadeiro into Lily's mouth. "I got hired," Lily answered with her mouth full, as if she didn't believe it herself. Megan's eyes went wide. "Hired? How? Did you threaten them? Hypnotize the interviewer?" "I have no idea." Lily threw her hands up. "I was a complete disaster. I spilled water, almost fell out the window, spilled coffee on the CEO, and called him the coffee guy, and somehow, he still hired me." "The CEO?" Megan choked on her brigadeiro in pure shock. "You spilled coffee on the CEO, and you walked out with a job? You're a living legend." Lily threw a pillow at her friend. "Don't compliment me. I'm still trying to process this." They spent the night laughing, joking that Lily must have some kind of accidental spell that turned public humiliation into signed contracts. But the truth was, Lily had no idea what was waiting for her on her first day at work. The next morning, she arrived at Smith Global in an attempt at a professional look, a white blouse, a pencil skirt, and a pair of heels she had dug out from the back of her closet, most likely belonging to some great aunt who danced bolero in the 80s. As soon as she walked into the building, she felt the stares. It wasn't her imagination. People were actually watching her. It was as if the news of her lightning-fast hiring had spread like small-town gossip. "Is that the coffee girl?" whispered a marketing analyst. "I heard she's Nicholas's niece, or his secret lover, or a witch." An intern replied. "Witch makes sense," someone in the background concluded. Completely unaware of her instant reputation, Lily grabbed her temporary badge and took the elevator up to the executive floor, where her new workstation was located. Her desk was right next to Nicholas's office. That should have been the first sign that things were about to get interesting. Lily's first task was simple: organize Nicholas's digital files. But for Lily, simple was an abstract concept. She started off well, but within minutes she had mixed up folders, sent confidential documents to the HR printer, and somehow set Nicholas's email to automatically reply with a gif of a dancing llama. When Nicholas stepped out of his meeting and opened his email, he was greeted by the sight of the llama dancing. For a group of Chinese investors. "Lily," he called, trying to hold back laughter. Lily appeared at the door, already looking guilty. "Was it me?" "It was." Nicholas pointed at the screen. "Do you think this llama inspires corporate confidence?" "Depends on the company," she joked. He shook his head, but instead of getting mad, he smiled. "Congratulations, you just set a new record for chaos in under 2 hours." "I'm efficient at what I do," Lily said, giving an exaggerated bow. Over the next few days, life at Smith Global turned into a roller coaster. Lily was a magnet for small disasters. She tried making coffee for Nicholas and ended up setting off the fire alarm. She knocked over an important stack of contracts after tripping on her own shoelace. She answered an international call, thought it was a prank, and responded in a mix of English and Spanish from a Mexican soap opera. Every mishap left Nicholas torn between laughing and getting a headache. But strangely, he couldn't really get mad at her. If anything, Lily's presence brought life to the once quiet executive floor. Office gossip spread quickly. "She's a spy sent to test Nicholas's patience. Or maybe she's the secret daughter of some powerful billionaire. I bet she saved his life in a past life." And while the rumors flew around, Lily just kept being herself. And to Nicholas, that was oddly refreshing. One day, Nicholas was invited to an important business dinner with foreign clients. And for reasons he couldn't even explain, he decided to bring Lily along. "You want me to go to a high-level business dinner?" Lily asked, shocked. "Are you sure? I'm a walking disaster." "Exactly," Nicholas smirked. "I don't have anything to wear for that. The company will cover it." "Can I eat more than I talk?" "Please do." On the night of the dinner, Lily showed up in a red dress that Megan had picked out to make sure you stand out, and heels so high they looked like potential weapons. She was nervous, of course, but she hid it by talking nonstop. Everything was going relatively well until Lily saw one of the clients holding a tray of appetizers and, without thinking, said, "Hey, sir, can you bring me a really stuffed chicken croquette? I'm feeling fancy tonight." The "sir" was none other than one of the most important investors in Asia. The silence in the room was deafening. Nicholas closed his eyes. Lily froze. Then, to everyone's surprise, the client burst out laughing so hard that wine sprayed from his nose. And somehow, what should have been the end of Lily's career turned into a good thing. The clients loved her spontaneity. On the way home, Nicholas looked at her and said, "You are the most disastrously brilliant person I've ever met." Lily grinned. "Is that a compliment or a medical diagnosis?" "Maybe a little of both." The next morning, Lily arrived at Smith Global, determined to be more professional. She had spent the night studying a corporate etiquette guide while eating cold pizza, and had even written down some formal phrases to use with her colleagues and superiors. Her goal for the day was simple: go 24 hours without causing a mini-apocalypse in the office. But she was Lily Collins. That goal was doomed before it even started. As soon as she arrived, she tried to scan her ID badge at the electronic gate. Instead of her badge, she accidentally pulled out a pack of gum and started rubbing it against the scanner as if that would open the gate. "Are you trying to bribe the gate with mint?" a familiar voice asked. Lily looked up to see Nicholas holding his coffee, this time in a spill-proof cup, clearly learning from past experiences. "Oh, good morning, sir. Nicholas." Lily smiled nervously, finally finding her actual ID badge. "Good morning, Lily." He smirked, already mentally preparing for whatever chaos she was about to unleash that day. At her desk, Lily found a stack of documents and a friendly note from Ethan, Nicholas's personal assistant. "Lily, please scan these contracts and save them as PDFs in the Drive folder called Urgent Contracts 2025. Let me know if you have any questions." It sounded like a simple task. But not for Lily. In less than 30 minutes, she managed to scan the contracts upside down, save everything as image files, and rename them with titles like Help Paperwork and Mystery Document 3. As if that weren't enough, when she tried to open a drawer to grab more sheets, she got the hem of her skirt caught on the handle, got stuck and knocked the entire contents of the drawer onto the floor. "Great start, Lily," she muttered, crouching among staplers, sticky notes, and paper clips scattered like confetti. That's when her phone rang. Lily answered in the most professional tone she could manage. "Executive office, Lily speaking. How can I help you?" On the other end, Nicholas's voice sounded amused. "Any chance you could bring me a coffee?" "Of course," Lily replied, excited to finally do something simple. "I'll be right there with it, nice and hot." The plan was easy. Grab a coffee from the hallway machine and take it to the boss's office. But in the universe of Lily Collins, even that became an Olympic challenge. As she tried to pour the coffee, the machine shot the liquid out with such force that it splattered onto her blouse and flooded the tray. Without noticing, she added sugar to the wrong cup, stirred it with the tip of a pen, and as she picked up the cup, accidentally hit the machine's safety button, triggering a maintenance alarm. By the time she reached Nicholas's office, the coffee looked like a bubbling magic potion. The cup was dripping, and Lily, now covered in brown stains, tried to play it cool. "Here's your coffee, sir, fresh and full of personality." Nicholas took in the scene, shook his head, and accepted the cup like someone about to take on an extreme taste test. "Thanks, Lily. I'll savor every drop." For the next few hours, Lily tried to be actually productive. She answered emails, though she accidentally signed one as Liloka Accidental, organized a spreadsheet where she mistakenly recorded a $500,000 transaction as purchase of 5,000 chicken croquettes, and joined a video conference with German investors, where, instead of saying good morning, she confidently greeted them with good moolah. And of course, Lily's reputation continued to grow in the halls of Smith Global. At lunchtime, she decided she deserved a break. She went to the office kitchen to grab the instant noodles she had stored in her bag. Unfamiliar with the company's high-tech microwave, she pressed what she thought was the start button, but accidentally activated the grill mode. The noodles turned into a fireball, the room filled with smoke, and the fire alarm went off. Everyone evacuated the floor, and Lily, coughing and holding her melted noodle cup, had to explain to the security team that this wasn't corporate sabotage, just hunger and a severe lack of cooking skills. Back at her desk, now known as the girl who almost blew up the break room, Lily tried to focus on a cost report, but then came her next challenge, answering a call from an international client. The phone rang, and Lily picked up with confidence. "Executive office, Lily speaking." "Hello, this is Mr. Wong from Hong Kong. I would like to speak to Mr. Smith." Nervous, Lily responded in what she thought was fluent English. "Yes, Mr. Wong Kong, no problem. I call boss now, okay? Thank you very much, please." At that exact moment, Nicholas happened to be passing by the door. He had to lean against the wall to keep from collapsing with laughter. "Lily, please never change," he said, still laughing. The day ended with Lily accidentally locking herself in the file room after pulling the wrong door shut. She spent 30 minutes shouting for help until Ethan finally found her. "How did you even manage to get locked in here?" Ethan asked, genuinely curious. "I have special talents," Lily replied, dead serious. At the end of the day, Nicholas called her into his office. "Have a seat," he said, pointing to the chair in front of his desk. "Am I fired?" she asked immediately. "Amazingly, no." Nicholas crossed his arms. "But tell me something. Do you do this on purpose, or is this some kind of hidden talent?" "Do what?" she asked, feigning innocence. "Every step you take feels like a new episode of a prank show. Today alone, you set noodles on fire, confused German investors with chickens, and nearly caused a financial crisis with 5,000 chicken croquettes." "The croquette thing was an honest mistake," she protested. "And as for the rest, I don't do it on purpose. Life just hates me a little." Nicholas chuckled. "Well, it might sound crazy, but," he sighed, "I like it." "You do?" Lily blinked, surprised. "This company was cold, boring, predictable. Then you came along and turned every day into an event. I haven't laughed this much in years." Lily smiled. "So, is this like a compliment?" "It's more like a certificate of collective insanity." Nicholas stood up. "Go home, Lily. Tomorrow's another day of chaos. Don't worry, boss. I promise to bring the full apocalypse tomorrow." The next morning, Lily arrived at Smith Global, determined to break the cycle of disasters. This time, she wore something simple, no twisted straps or dangling tags, and brought a travel mug of coffee from home. "Today, nothing is going to catch me off guard," she muttered to her reflection in the elevator. But the universe, as always, had other plans for Lily Collins. The moment she stepped into the office, Ethan came rushing toward her, looking desperate. "Lily, you need to accompany Mr. Smith to a business dinner tonight." Lily choked on her coffee. "A dinner? With clients? Me? Why?" Ethan shrugged. "Direct orders from him. He said he needed your chaotic energy to make the evening more interesting." "Chaotic energy?" Lily put her hands on her hips. "Am I an assistant or a circus act?" "Depends on the day," Ethan smirked. "The car will pick you up at 7. Get ready, it's going to be a high-class event." At 6:59 p.m., Lily left home wearing a black dress borrowed from Megan and a pair of heels that felt like medieval torture devices. She got into the car and found Nicholas already waiting, looking impeccable in his suit. "Good evening, boss." Lily tried to sound formal. "Good evening, Hurricane," he replied, hiding a smile. "Seriously, why am I going to this dinner? Wouldn't it be better to take someone, I don't know, competent? Because—" He looked straight at her. "If the conversation gets boring, at least I know you'll create some chaos to liven up the night." "Wow, I feel so valued." Lily crossed her arms. From office mascot to official dinner wrecker. Nicholas chuckled, and the car headed to the most sophisticated restaurant in town. The moment they stepped inside, Lily knew she was out of her element. Everything sparkled. The floors, the glasses, even the napkins looked like they belonged on a fashion runway. She tried to walk gracefully, but her heel got caught in the carpet and she fell right into Nicholas's arm. "I'm fine," she said way too loudly, quickly straightening up. "I'm sure you are," Nicholas replied, trying not to laugh. They were led to a reserved table where 2 Chinese investors, a German businessman, and to Lily's surprise, a smiling man holding a tray of appetizers were already waiting. Lily, always being Lily, spoke before thinking. "Sir, could I get a well-stuffed chicken croquette? I'm feeling fancy today." Nicholas turned his head so fast he almost hurt his neck. "Lily, he's not a waiter." "I'm not," the man interrupted, laughing. "But I like your spontaneity. I'm Mr. Wang, one of the lead investors tonight." Lily turned so red she looked like a tomato in high heels. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought, because of the tray, She gestured awkwardly, completely lost. Thankfully, Mr. Wang laughed so hard it made everyone else relax. "That was great. Finally a business dinner that doesn't feel like a funeral," he said. Nicholas glanced at Lily with a mix of relief and exasperation. "See, I told you your presence would be useful." Lily forced a smile, still wanting to disappear from existence. As the dinner continued, Lily tried to stay quiet and avoid knocking anything over, but it was impossible. When they served a fancy soup with a name she couldn't pronounce, she blew on her spoon so hard it splashed broth onto the German businessman's suit. "I'll wash that for you," she offered in panic. "Please don't." Nicholas stepped in before Lily could take the man's jacket. "Maybe some sparkling water to calm down," Mr. Wang suggested. Lily grabbed the bottle from the table and, instead of pouring, absent-mindedly shook it before opening. The water exploded like an out-of-control champagne bottle, drenching half the table. "I'm a blessing, just a wet one," Lily joked. Surprisingly, the atmosphere remained light. Lily might have been a complete disaster, but there was one thing she had that no one else at that table did. She was real. No filters. And for some strange reason, that put everyone at ease. When dessert arrived, Lily tried to impress by using a word she had learned from an etiquette guide. "This ice cream is very sophisticated." She smiled proudly. "It's mousse," Nicholas corrected, nearly crying from laughter. "Mousse? Fancy ice cream? It's all cold." She shrugged. When the dinner finally ended, Nicholas said goodbye to the investors, who left praising the most entertaining dinner of the year. Lily, relieved she hadn't caused an international incident, leaned against the exit wall to catch her breath. "Was it really that bad?" Nicholas asked, stopping beside her. "It was like flying a plane without knowing where the brakes are." She sighed. "But they seemed to enjoy it." "I did too," Nicholas admitted. Lily looked at him suspiciously. "Are you crazy or just a masochist?" "Neither," he answered, serious this time. "I just like real people, and you're the realest person who's ever walked into this restaurant." Lily felt a little embarrassed, something that didn't happen often. "Thank you, I think." And since we're talking about keeping things real, I have a proposal. Nicholas adjusted his tie. A proposal? Here we go. I bet you $500 that I can turn you into a refined lady in 30 days. Lily burst into loud laughter. Refined? Me? Have you ever seen me try to eat sushi with a fork? Exactly, Nicholas smirked. If I succeed, you owe me a proper dinner. And if I'm still this walking disaster, then I owe you a week's worth of breakfast on me. Deal. Lily shook his hand without a second thought. Little did she know that this bet would turn into something much bigger than just free breakfasts. On her way home, Lily couldn't stop laughing in her car. A refined lady? Oh, poor Nicholas, she muttered to herself. As soon as she got home, she called Megan. Megan, help me, I have 30 days to become a princess. Princess? You're more like that tipsy fairy from fairy tales. Exactly. Lily sighed. And this time, I actually want to try. Okay, we start your royal training tomorrow. But tell Nicholas he's going to need a miracle. Lily laughed. A miracle? Megan, I am the miracle. A miracle of chaos. And so between snacks, mishaps, and crazy bets, Lily and Nicholas took another step toward something neither of them expected. A love story straight out of a romantic comedy, or a police report, depending on the day. The next morning, Lily woke up to an unexpected notification on her phone. It was a message from Nicholas. Good morning, Hurricane. Your training starts today at 10 a.m. Wear something comfortable and try not to set anything on fire until then. Lily huffed and tossed her phone onto the bed. Comfortable? Does he think I'm going to a spa? She grumbled, trying to figure out what to wear for an etiquette lesson. After much internal debate and 3 desperate messages to Megan, Lily showed up at Smith Global wearing a tracksuit covered in dancing avocados and LED sneakers that blinked with every step. Nicholas was waiting in the conference room, along with a woman with a flawless bun, a designer suit, and the kind of gaze that could judge even dust particles. Lily, this is Mrs. Penelope von Schneider. She's an expert in etiquette, behavior, and patience. Nicholas struggled to keep a straight face when he saw the avocado tracksuit. Mrs. von Schneider, meet Lily Collins, the most challenging project of your career. The woman scanned Lily with a piercing gaze and took a deep breath. Let's begin, Penelope said, pointing to a chair. First lesson, posture. Lily sat up, trying to stay straight, but looked more like a wobbly puppet. With every adjustment Penelope made, Lily slouched again until the instructor finally gave up and said, Let's skip to table manners. That might be less painful. Penelope set up a makeshift dinner table with silverware, plates, and glasses. Lily stared at the arrangement as if she were looking at a surgical kit. Is this for eating or performing surgery? She asked, genuinely puzzled. First, the napkin. Penelope explained. It goes on your lap. Lily picked up the napkin, folded it into a little boat, and smiled proudly. I learned this from a tutorial. On your lap, Lily, on your lap. Oh, right. Lily placed the napkin on her lap, then immediately grabbed the wrong spoon for the soup. That's the dessert spoon, Penelope corrected. Dessert soup? Lily blinked. Rich people are weird. Nicholas watched everything from the corner of the room, struggling not to laugh. The second part of the training was about walking with elegance. Penelope placed a thick book on Lily's head and told her to walk across the room. The result was immediate. Lily took 3 steps. The book slipped. She tried to catch it and ended up knocking over a tea tray Penelope had prepared to demonstrate British etiquette. Broken teacups, tea spilling onto the carpet, and Lily standing in the middle of the mess, raising her hand like she was hailing a cab. Do I get a trophy for this? You get a survival medal, Nicholas replied. The speech training was even more disastrous. Penelope had Lily repeat formal and sophisticated phrases. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to meet you, Penelope demonstrated. Good afternoon. Great to meet you, boss, Lily responded with a wink. Penelope took a deep breath and muttered something in French that, based on her tone, was not a compliment. Let's try something simpler. Introduce yourself at a gala dinner. Lily stood up, made an exaggerated bow, and said, Hey, red carpet crew, I'm Lily, an expert in gourmet snacks and elevator dancing. Nicholas nearly fell out of his chair. I don't think the world is ready for you, Lily. After a morning filled with noble failures, Penelope decided to switch to real-world practice. Let's have lunch at a fancy restaurant. Maybe in the right environment she'll absorb some elegance by osmosis. Penelope declared, Let the world deal with it. Lily replied, taking a small dance step. At the restaurant, Lily tried to follow the etiquette rules. She really did. She sat up straight for 2 minutes, used the correct silverware by accident, and even managed to order water without saying, "Hey boss, get me a cold one." But Lily's instincts soon kicked in. When the waiter brought a plate of escargot, she eyed it suspiciously. "Is this snail staring back at me?" Penelope nearly choked on her water. "It's a delicacy," her instructor explained, horrified. "It's equally disgusting." Lily pushed the plate away. To top it off, Lily tried to cut a piece of meat that was smaller than her knife, and the slice flew straight onto Nicholas's plate. "Guess it's yours now, boss," she shrugged. Nicholas, already used to this, simply ate it without a word. Back at the office, Penelope evaluated the training results. "Mr. Smith, with all due respect, this girl is a lost cause," Penelope said. "I agree," Nicholas replied. "But she's my lost cause," Lily grinned. Was that romantic or a threat of being fired? Could be both. The week continued with more lessons, each more surreal than the last. In dance class, Lily stepped on Nicholas's feet so many times that he eventually danced alone, just to avoid further injury. In the elevator etiquette class, Lily pressed all the buttons by reflex, turning a simple ride into a full building tour. In fashion class, Penelope tried to teach her about sophisticated color combinations, but the next day, Lily showed up wearing a hot pink blazer, a lime green skirt, and a gold headband. "Did you come dressed as corporate carnival?" Nicholas asked. "I call it executive tropical trend." Lily strutted down the hallway as if it were a runway. The employees, already used to her, applauded. Over time, Nicholas realized that trying to turn Lily into a refined lady was like trying to teach a cat to fly, pointless and hilarious. And deep down, he started to wonder why he wanted to change Lily in the first place. She was imperfect, chaotic, spontaneous, and that's exactly why he laughed more than he ever had in his life. On the final day of training, Penelope arranged a test. A simulated dinner at the office with carefully selected guests. Lily arrived late, of course, tripped at the entrance, naturally, and spilled the appetizer on Nicholas's lap, a house tradition. But something different happened. When Penelope introduced Lily to the guests, she gave a clumsy little bow, smiled, and said, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lily Collins, the national pride of executive mishaps." Everyone laughed, even Penelope. That's when Nicholas realized Lily didn't need to change. She just needed to be herself. At the end of the night, Nicholas walked Lily to the elevator. "So was I refined enough?" she asked. "No. But you were Lily, and that's much better. Was that a disguised flirt?" "Maybe. I liked it." They smiled at each other, and for the first time, Lily didn't trip while stepping out of the elevator. Back in his office, Nicholas glanced at the window and saw Lily's reflection adjusting her hair. It was impossible not to remember her first day, the inside-out dress, and the laughter that changed everything. That night, Nicholas realized the biggest lesson from the training wasn't Lily's. It was his. Because in the middle of all the chaos, he had found exactly what was missing in his perfect cold life. A hurricane named Lily Collins. That night, Lily lay in bed staring at the ceiling. She had survived a week of training with Penelope von Schneider, which alone should have earned her a bravery medal. Megan, on the phone, listened to every detail while munching on a bucket of caramel popcorn. "And you won't believe it, Megan. I almost killed Penelope with a champagne cork," Lily said, covering her face with a pillow. "But what about Nicholas?" Megan asked, far more interested in that part of the story. Lily fell silent for a moment. Nicholas, he had been kind. Despite all the disasters, he laughed instead of yelling, and rather than trying to change her, he simply enjoyed the chaos. "He's different," Lily admitted. "He's not just that cold, distant boss from the movies. He's got a hidden sense of humor under that perfect tie." "Oh, so you like him?" Megan teased. "It's not that. He just—" Lily hesitated. "Forget it. It's impossible. He's Nicholas Smith, CEO of Smith Global. And I'm the girl who walked into the company wearing her dress inside out." Before Megan could insist, a notification popped up on Lily's phone, an invitation to a gala event hosted by Smith Global. Lily's eyes widened. "I haven't even recovered from the last dinner, and now I have to face a gala?" "You sure do," Megan confirmed. "And this time we're going all out, no more avocado print sweatpants." The following night, Lily stood in front of the mirror in her small apartment. Megan had worked wonders. A classic navy blue dress, her hair styled in an elegant updo, and just enough makeup to look sophisticated without looking like she was on a reality show makeover special. "Ready to shine?" Megan asked excitedly. "I'm ready not to knock over the appetizer table," Lily said, grabbing her clutch and taking a deep breath. When she arrived at the venue, it felt like stepping into a movie. Sparkling chandeliers, waiters carrying trays of gourmet mini burgers, glasses of white wine, and guests so impeccably dressed they looked like they had walked straight out of a fashion magazine. She hesitated at the entrance and immediately tripped over the red carpet. Nicholas, who was only a few feet away, saw it happen and rushed over before she could take a full fall. "Of course," he said, steadying her. "It wouldn't be a Smith Global event unless you nearly took out half the decorations." "I was just trying to make a dramatic entrance," Lily said nervously. "You know, make an impression." "Oh, you definitely make an impression," he replied with a grin. "Come on. I want to introduce you to some people." Nicholas guided her through the room, and to Lily's surprise, no one seemed horrified by her presence. Quite the opposite, some employees even waved and smiled, as if she were some kind of company celebrity. "Why are they looking at me like that?" she whispered to Nicholas. "Maybe because you're the first assistant to ever make the CEO laugh every single day," he replied. "That's practically corporate legend at this point." Lily felt her cheeks warm. But before she could respond, a waiter passed by with a tray of mini hot dogs, and she grabbed one without thinking. As soon as she took a bite, the sauce dripped down the side of her mouth, straight onto her dress. "You have got to be kidding me. I just got here," she muttered, dabbing at the stain with a linen napkin. Nicholas picked up another napkin but didn't bother to help. He was too entertained watching her battle with the ketchup. "You really do need a survival guide for social events," he teased. "Or maybe a babysitter," she shot back. Later, as live music started playing, Nicholas was called over for a toast with the board members. Lily found herself alone for a few minutes, watching the couples dance in the center of the ballroom. That's when she noticed a woman approaching Nicholas, way too closely for just a coworker. Tall, blonde, and wearing a breathtaking silver dress, the woman placed a hand on Nicholas's shoulder and whispered something in his ear. Lily didn't hear it, but the woman's smile immediately looked faker than a $3 bill. "Must be the ex," Lily mumbled to herself. And she was right. Ashley Montgomery, Nicholas's ex-fiancée and Smith Global's current headache, was back, and she was ready to stake her claim. "And who's this?" Ashley asked, eyeing Lily up and down as if she were inspecting a second-hand item. "My assistant," Nicholas replied, polite but distant. "Oh, of course, the infamous backward dress girl," Ashley said with a sharp smile. Lily, never one to let a jab go unanswered, smiled sweetly. "Pleasure to meet you. You must be the ex everyone talks about?" she asked innocently. Nicholas nearly choked on his champagne. "That's right," Ashley answered, clearly annoyed. "I heard you left him standing at the altar. Is that true, or just office gossip?" Lily continued, grinning as if she were discussing the weather. Ashley was speechless for a moment. Before she could respond, Lily casually grabbed another mini tart from a passing tray and turned to Nicholas. "I'm gonna get a drink," she said. "Good luck with your visitor." Nicholas watched Lily walk away, unable to hide his amused smile. Ashley, on the other hand, was fuming. "Who is that girl, Nicholas?" she demanded. "Exactly who you just saw," he replied. "And honestly, she's a lot more fun than either of us." At the bar, Lily ordered a lemonade, unaware that Nicholas had followed her and was now leaning against the counter beside her. "You know, you have a real talent for turning every situation into a spectacle," he said. "Is that a compliment?" she asked suspiciously. "Totally," he smiled. "And you know what would be an even bigger show? Here it comes," she rolled her eyes. "If you danced with me." Lily looked at the dance floor, where couples were elegantly twirling, while she could barely walk in a straight line. "I don't want to be responsible for a gala disaster," she joked. "I'll take the risk," Nicholas extended his hand. Lily took it, and they made their way to the center of the room. He placed one hand gently on her waist and held her other hand with his. They started to move, and surprisingly, Lily didn't step on his foot. At least not in the first 20 seconds. You're doing well? Nicholas complimented her. It's because I'm concentrating, she replied. Once I relax, I'll probably trip on my dress. No worries, I'll catch you. Lily looked at Nicholas, and in that moment, something changed. It wasn't just a dance anymore. It wasn't just a silly training bet. It was something more. And it was in that moment, when they got a little closer, that Lily really tripped and fell directly onto Nicholas, their faces just a few inches apart. It was a near kiss. One of those moments where time seems to slow down, and all you can hear is your own heart beating. You caught me, she whispered. I'll always catch you, he replied. They stayed there, frozen, until the waiter passed by with another tray, and Lily quickly looked away. I'm going to grab another little tart. Want something? She asked, trying to cover up. Just you is enough chaos for me, Nicholas smiled. And just like that, without saying more, they went back to the dance floor, ready to continue. The next morning, Lily woke up with a strange feeling in her chest. It wasn't just the exhaustion from the gala or the sore feet from the high heels that left her in public disaster territory. It was the memory of that dance, that near kiss, that look from Nicholas that she definitely shouldn't have paid so much attention to. She turned to the side, burying her face in the pillow. I can't be falling for my boss, she muttered. This is like something from a bad movie. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, and when she saw the screen, she almost fell out of bed. It was a message from Nicholas. We need to talk. Something urgent. Lily swallowed hard. Surely she was going to be fired for tripping over him in front of the directors, or maybe her dress had ripped and made it onto some corporate gossip site. She jumped up, threw on the first clothes she found. A t-shirt with a hot dog print and sweatpants that used to be black, and rushed out to the Smith Global building. Nicholas was waiting in the conference room with that look between serious and amused, as if he were about to suggest something completely out of the ordinary. Sit down, he said, pointing to the chair. Lily sat down and clasped her hands in her lap. Is this about the stumble during the dance, or when I spilled tart sauce on the investment table? Because if it is, I can explain. It's not about that, Nicholas interrupted her. Actually, it's a little worse. Worse? Lily's eyes went wide. You know that photo of us, right at the moment of your epic stumble? Nicholas showed her his phone. The photo was on several corporate gossip websites with a flashy headline, Smith Global's billionaire CEO caught in intimate moment with his secret assistant. Lily covered her face. Intimate? I almost knocked you to the floor. Yeah, Nicholas sighed. But now it's a circus. Shareholders want to know if it's true. My mom called thinking I'm getting married, and Ashley already sent me a nasty message asking if you're my new fiancé. Lily fell silent for a few seconds. So what's the solution to this mess? Nicholas took a deep breath, like he was about to jump off a cliff. Will you pretend to be my girlfriend for a month? Lily blinked rapidly, as if she hadn't heard him right. Me? Your girlfriend? It's just to cool things down with the press and keep the company board calm, Nicholas explained. After a month, we'll say we broke up and everything goes back to normal. This is the craziest thing anyone's ever asked me to do. It's your chance to live out a movie romance, he joked. Lily crossed her arms. Okay, I'm in, but with one condition. What's that? I want you to buy me breakfast every day with pancakes, bacon, and orange juice. Nicholas laughed. Deal. They shook hands, and in that moment, Lily realized she was about to step into a whirlwind she never saw coming. That same day, Nicholas announced to the executive team, Lily and I are dating. The silence that followed was so heavy that even the air conditioner stopped making noise. Seriously? Ethan dropped a pile of papers. Like, really? Totally serious, Nicholas confirmed. You two? One of the directors asked. But she's unforgettable, Nicholas completed. Exactly, the director agreed. Lily, standing nearby, tried to act normal, but ended up spilling her glass of water all over the table. I'm just so moved, she said, trying to play it off. The news spread through the office like wildfire. Within an hour, Lily had already received messages from every department. Did you seduce the boss? Tell us your secret. Is this a forbidden romance, or just marketing? Are you going to be the new boss, too? Lily laughed nervously and answered them all with stickers of love-struck kittens. But it was the next day when things really got out of control. Early in the morning, Lily barged into the meeting room where Nicholas was with investors and placed a lunchbox on the table. "Honey, I brought your breakfast. Pancakes and bacon, just the way you like it," she announced loud enough for everyone to hear. Nicholas opened the container and, along with the food, found a napkin with a hand-drawn heart. "Very thoughtful," he replied, trying to hold back a smile. The investors exchanged looks, some clearly finding the scene adorable, others looking like they couldn't believe what they were witnessing. And that wasn't the end of it. During lunch, Lily went live on the company's Instagram, showing herself and Nicholas sharing a milkshake with 2 straws. "Old school romance," she captioned it. Nicholas, surprised but amused, played along. "Should we tell your parents?" Lily asked, still in front of the camera. "They already know," Nicholas replied. "My mother wants to meet you tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" Lily nearly choked on her milkshake. When the day of the visit arrived, Lily did her best to look like a respectable girlfriend. Megan helped her choose an outfit, and this time, there were no avocado prints in sight. Nicholas's mother was exactly as Lily had imagined, elegant, well-groomed, and with that sharp gaze that seemed to see straight into a person's soul within 5 seconds. "So you're Lily," she said with a subtle smile. "Yes, ma'am," Lily replied, tense. "Nicholas seems different since you arrived," his mother continued. "He laughs more. That tends to happen when someone almost burns down your company," Lily joked, trying to ease the tension. Nicholas's mother smiled. "I like you. You're different from all the others." Lily relaxed, but only a little. In the following days, the fake relationship became part of the office routine. Lily started leaving sticky notes on Nicholas's screen with messages like, "Honey, don't forget to eat lunch. Take care, company sweetheart." Nicholas, in turn, replied with text messages. "Rescue me from this meeting. Run away with me to a world without spreadsheets." Little by little, what started as an act became something dangerous. Because Lily began to genuinely enjoy being around him. And Nicholas, despite his best efforts to stay in control, felt that something was different when she was near. The turning point happened at a press conference. To reinforce the perfect romance, Nicholas held Lily's hand and told everyone, "Every day with her is a surprise." Lily smiled, and it wasn't just for the cameras. That night, back in her apartment, she called Megan. "I think I'm actually starting to like him, for real." "Of course you are. You're the main character in a real-life romantic comedy," Megan replied. "This isn't a movie, it's my life, and the fake dating contract is going to end." "So what are you going to do?" Lily fell silent. She didn't know. She just knew that, for the first time, she wanted something to actually work out. And in the middle of all this chaos, Nicholas was also alone in his apartment, staring at his phone, unsure of how to deal with the fact that, for the first time in years, someone had made his heart beat differently. The girl with the inside-out dress. And he knew. The month would end soon. But what he felt didn't seem fake at all. The next morning, Lily arrived at Smith Global with a bag of donuts in one hand and an oversized coffee in the other. As a fake girlfriend, she had decided it was time to introduce Nicholas to the tradition of motivational Mondays, which basically meant stuffing the boss with sugar and caffeine until he forgot it was still early. But before she even stepped into the building, something caught her attention. A sleek black car pulled up right in front of the entrance, and from it stepped a woman. And not just any woman. She looked like she had walked straight off the cover of a fashion magazine. Flawless blonde hair, oversized sunglasses, and a dress so form-fitting it seemed like it had been sewn directly onto her body. In her hand, a designer handbag that was probably worth more than Lily's entire car. The blonde looked straight at Lily, as if she knew exactly who she was. Lily, on the other hand, tried to hide behind the bag of donuts. "You must be Lily," the woman said, walking up to her with a smile that was anything but friendly. Yes, I am. And you are?" "Ashley Montgomery, Nicholas's ex-fiancée." Lily almost spilled her coffee all over her shoes. Of course she knew who Ashley was, the infamous ex-fiancée who left Nicholas just days before the wedding to run off with a French chef. Lily had heard the story in at least 3 different versions during lunch breaks with the marketing team. "Oh, what a surprise," Lily tried to smile. "Surprise? I'd call it just a friendly visit," Ashley said, pushing her sunglasses up onto her head. After all, it's nice to meet the person keeping the seat warm. The one that used to be mine. Lily felt her face heat up. Not just keeping it warm, sweetheart. I'm making it shine, she shot back, flashing a fake, toothpaste commercial-worthy smile. Ashley let out a short laugh, spun on her heels, and strutted through the glass doors like she owned the building. Lily needed 5 minutes of deep breathing, and 2 donuts eaten back-to-back, to calm down. This is going to be a problem, she muttered to herself before following the blonde inside. Nicholas was in the conference room when Ashley walked in. His smile disappeared instantly. "What are you doing here?" he asked, not in the mood for small talk. "Came to take a trip down memory lane," she said, sitting down like she belonged there. Lily arrived just in time to witness the scene, stopping at the doorway. "Am I interrupting something?" she asked, even though she very much wanted to know what was going on. "Of course not, dear," Ashley answered before Nicholas could, her tone sweet but dripping with poison. "In fact, stay. I've always been curious about who would be next in line after me." Nicholas ran a hand down his face, visibly frustrated. "Ashley, this isn't a good time." "It's always a good time to reconnect with the past," she shot back. Lily, who had never been one to keep her mouth shut, stepped fully into the room, sat down next to Nicholas and took his hand. "I just love when exes manage to stay civil," Lily smiled. "Shows maturity." Ashley narrowed her eyes. "Does it? Well, I'm mature enough to know the difference between something real and a show for appearances." Lily kept smiling but squeezed Nicholas's hand as if silently warning him, "Hold me back, or I'm throwing this donut at her." "You know what's real?" Lily leaned in. "The breakfast I brought Nicholas today, with donuts and pancakes, because he likes a happy breakfast. I bet you never even brought him a slice of toast." Nicholas didn't know whether to laugh or hide under the table. Ashley stood and walked toward Lily, her heels clicking sharply against the polished floor. "This isn't a fairy tale, sweetheart." "No," Lily agreed. "It's a romantic comedy with a high risk of you becoming the over-the-top villain." Ashley huffed, grabbed her bag, and stomped out so hard that Lily was almost sure she cracked the marble floor. "You didn't have to provoke her," Nicholas said, even as he smiled. "Oh, but I did," Lily replied. "That woman thinks she owns both your heart and your parking spot." And just like that, the Cold War between Lily and Ashley had begun. That same day, Ashley posted an old photo of her and Nicholas at a fancy French restaurant with the caption, "Some memories last forever." Lily didn't let it slide. She uploaded a series of Instagram stories showing her and Nicholas eating chicken nuggets on the couch, captioning it, "A real feast." Ashley fired back with a picture of her and Nicholas on a yacht, with the caption, "Some connections can never be broken." Lily responded with a video of her and Nicholas struggling to paddle an inflatable boat in a kiddie pool. The rivalry went viral in a way neither of them had expected. Lily's fans created the hashtag Team Lily, while Ashley's supporters insisted she was the true heir to the CEO's heart. Nicholas found himself in the middle of the storm, watching it all unfold with a mix of disbelief and amusement. "You two are going to destroy my reputation," he told Lily. "Or make you the most famous CEO in America," she shot back. But the final straw came at a company event when Ashley decided to give a surprise speech about the good old days. She stepped up to the stage, took the microphone, and started telling stories about her relationship with Nicholas, as if they had been the most perfect couple in history. Lily had had enough. She grabbed a spare microphone and walked onto the stage. "Just to clarify," Lily said, "I may not have a yacht or fancy restaurant photos, but Nicholas has smiled more in the past few weeks with me than he has in years with anyone else." The audience erupted into applause. Ashley stormed off the stage, fuming, while Nicholas pulled Lily into a hug right then and there, in front of everyone. "You're completely crazy," he whispered in her ear. "And you loved every second of it," she replied. In the following days, Ashley stopped showing up. Lily won the meme war, but something still bothered her. That hug on stage didn't seem fake. For the first time, Lily started to wonder, what if all of this was starting to become more than just a charade? Lily knew her life had been turned upside down the moment she adjusted that dress at the Smith Global building. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared her for the wave of strange feelings that started to flood her chest after that scene on stage. The hug, the way Nicholas held her hand afterward without anyone noticing, and most of all, the way he looked at her, as if he wasn't just thanking her for defending him, but as if he was truly seeing Lily in a new way, a way she couldn't explain, and that she was afraid to understand. Let's have some fun with those who only read the comments. Type Pepsi in the comments. Only those who made it this far will get it. Now, let's continue with the story. The next morning, she stepped into the company elevator, determined to act like nothing was happening. She was the same clumsy Lily as always, the girl who spills coffee, calls clients waiters, and turns serious meetings into involuntary stand-up shows. And that's how she planned to keep it. But when the elevator doors closed, she realized she wasn't alone. Nicholas stepped in at the last second, holding his phone and a cup of tea, which was already strange by itself, since he was known for drinking black coffee stronger than an airplane engine. "Tea?" Lily asked, frowning. "Are you sick? You got me hooked on it." He showed her the chamomile tea bag. "After that impromptu dinner at your apartment." Lily tried not to smile. She couldn't. Look at that, the all-powerful Nicholas Smith turning into a tea guy. "The next step is making you do 90s boy band karaoke." "That will never happen," he assured her. "Not even under torture." The elevator jolted, the lights flickered, and then nothing. "I don't believe this." Lily looked up. The elevator stopped. Nicholas pressed the buttons. Nothing. Tried calling reception. No signal. "We're stuck," he concluded. "Great. Of course, with me, the queen of bad luck." Lily crossed her arms. "I told you this reverse dress was a curse." Nicholas leaned against the wall and sighed. "At least we're not alone." Lily stared at the floor, nervous. Being alone with Nicholas in such a tiny space wasn't exactly helping her new decision to pretend she didn't feel anything weird about him. "Want to play something?" she suggested. "Like Truth or Dare." "Are you sure?" Nicholas grinned. "I'm great at this game." "I doubt it," she replied. "All right, your turn. Truth or Dare?" "Truth." "Do you like working here?" he asked, clearly going easy on her. "I do, especially because I never know if I'm going to get fired or promoted with every new disaster," she laughed. "Now it's my turn. Truth or Dare?" "Truth." Lily hesitated, then decided to take a risk. "Why did you hire me even after that disastrous interview?" Nicholas went silent for a moment. "Because you made me laugh, really laugh, for the first time in a long time." Lily felt her face heat up. "My turn again," Nicholas continued. "Truth or Dare?" "Dare. Let's switch things up." "All right," he moved closer. "Close your eyes." "What? Why?" "It's the dare," he smiled. "Close them." Lily closed her eyes, suspicious. "Now, tell me the first thing you thought when you saw me without knowing I was your boss." Lily opened her eyes, surprised. "That's a question. It's not a dare." "Consequence of trusting me," he shrugged. She sighed. "I thought, what a handsome man, must be a model or a perfume salesman." Nicholas threw his head back, laughing. "A perfume salesman? Seriously?" "I have a terrible track record of judging people on first impressions," she explained. "Actually, I mistook you for the delivery guy once, remember?" "How could I forget?" He smiled. The elevator jolted again. Lily lost her balance and fell straight into Nicholas's arms. They were so close she could count every single one of his eyelashes. "I think it's my turn to ask a question outside the game," she whispered. "Go ahead," he replied, not letting go of her waist. "Is all of this our fake relationship still just a lie?" Nicholas hesitated. Then, instead of answering, he simply leaned in and kissed Lily. It was an awkward kiss because Lily was holding the donut bag, and Nicholas still had his tea, but it was perfect in their messy way. When the elevator finally started working again and the doors opened on the executive floor, both of them had messy hair and goofy smiles on their faces. And of course, every employee saw it. Megan sent a message immediately. "I knew it. You two got stuck and kissed. I win this bet." Nicholas grabbed Lily's phone and replied, "Nothing has been confirmed. We might have just been rehearsing for a play." Lily burst out laughing. In the days that followed, the dynamic shifted. Their fake relationship didn't feel so fake anymore, but neither of them talked about it. They just kept being themselves. Lily knocking things over, Nicholas fixing them. Lily coming up with crazy ideas, Nicholas trying to save his reputation. And between one disaster and another, they were falling for each other. But of course, the peace wouldn't last. After all, Ashley still existed. And when she found out the two had been trapped in an elevator and walked out looking like they had just seen heaven, she wasted no time. She posted an old photo of Nicholas with the caption, "Some loves never fade." Lily responded by posting a selfie of her and Nicholas wearing matching slippers with the caption, "Some loves wear dog slippers." The meme war had a new round, but this time, Nicholas joined the game. He posted an old picture of Ashley and wrote, "Some exes never move on." The internet went wild. Lily looked at him surprised. "You joined my game?" "I joined your life," he corrected, "and I'm loving every second of it." It was the first time Lily realized that maybe, just maybe, what started as an improvised romantic comedy was turning into something much more serious. And deep down, she loved the idea. Lily couldn't quite explain what she was feeling, but ever since that kiss in the elevator, the world felt upside down. And strangely, she didn't want to turn it back. Nicholas was still her boss, but now there was something different in the air. The lingering looks, the smiles for no reason, the accidental touches that didn't feel so accidental. It was as if their romantic comedy had reached that stage where no one really knows what's going on. But everyone is rooting for the main couple. The problem was, Lily wasn't sure she was ready to be the lead in this story, and then everything completely fell apart. The morning after the kiss, one she still hadn't fully processed, Ashley made her final move. In an exclusive interview for a corporate gossip site, she spoke, complete with fake tears and dramatic pauses, about how she still loved Nicholas and was willing to win him back. Megan walked into Lily's office, holding her phone like it was about to explode. She basically declared public war. "I saw." Lily bit into a chocolate donut with the force of someone who wished they were biting something else. But you know what? She may have the media, she may have the expensive dress, she may have the followers, but I have something she'll never have. "What's that?" Megan asked. "A full history of shared public embarrassments with Nicholas. That bonds people." But despite the joke, Lily couldn't ignore the weight in her chest. She didn't want to be dragged into a competition with a supermodel ex-fiancé. She wanted Nicholas to choose. No scandals, no manipulations, just choose. So that afternoon, she did something no one expected. She resigned. "I can't stay here," she told Nicholas, handing him an envelope with her resignation letter. "Not like this. Not with everything that's happening." Nicholas was in shock. "Lily, you don't have to do this." "Yes, I do." She forced a smile. "I'm great at creating chaos, but now it's time for me to learn how to clean up my own mess." She walked out before he could say anything, leaving Nicholas standing in the middle of the office, holding the envelope like it was a piece of his own heart. In the days that followed, Lily disappeared. She didn't reply to messages, didn't answer calls. She spent her time watching bad reality shows and eating ice cream straight from the tub, while Megan tried to talk some sense into her. "You can't just run away," Megan said. "This isn't a teen movie." "I know," Lily mumbled, her mouth full of ice cream. "But running away is my hidden talent." Then, a week later, an invitation arrived in the mail. A golden envelope embossed with the Smith Global logo. Curious, Lily opened it. Special invitation, Smith Global annual event, theme, a celebration of originality. At the bottom, a handwritten note. "It wouldn't be a true celebration without you here. With care, Nicholas." Megan grabbed the invitation and waved it in the air. "This is basically a romantic summons. Or a trap," Lily said, suspicious. "Or maybe a romantic trap," Megan insisted. "You have to go, and you have to make an impression." Lily thought for a few seconds. Then a mischievous smile appeared. "Make an impression? That's what I do best." On the night of the event, Lily arrived wearing the same blue dress from that infamous interview, and of course, completely inside out again. The tag was swinging over her chest, the hem was uneven, and one strap was awkwardly twisted. As she walked into the lobby, all eyes turned to her. Some in shock, others in admiration for her boldness in fully embracing her title as the company's official walking disaster. Nicholas, who was on stage delivering the opening speech, stopped mid-sentence when he saw Lily, and he laughed. Really laughed, just like he had that very first day. "And that's why," he tried to continue, but couldn't. "You know what? I'm changing the theme of this event. He stepped off the stage, grabbed the microphone, and walked toward Lily. "Tonight, we're not just celebrating originality," he said, looking straight at her. "We're celebrating the person who taught me that perfection is overrated. That sometimes the best things in life happen when everything goes wrong." Lily felt her face burn, but she smiled. "This person," Nicholas continued, "showed me that laughing until you cry is better than trying to look serious all the time. That spilling coffee can be the beginning of a great story, and that true love is the kind that embraces every flaw, right side up or inside out." Then he knelt down in the middle of the lobby, pulled a small box from his pocket, and opened it. "Lily Collins, will you marry me and help me turn every day of my life into a beautifully chaotic romantic comedy?" The room erupted in applause and cheers. Megan was crying like it was her own proposal. Lily, with tears in her eyes, took the microphone. "Only if I can keep wearing my dresses the wrong way." "Deal," Nicholas laughed, "and I promise never to complain." "Then it's a yes," she said. They kissed right there as guests tossed makeshift flower petals, which were actually cocktail napkins. The event turned into a double celebration, the company's annual gathering and the CEO's spontaneous engagement. Lily and Nicholas danced in the middle of the room, slipped, spilled juice on her dress, and laughed like nobody was watching. A few months later, the wedding happened. But, of course, it wasn't a traditional one. Lily walked in with her veil caught on her shoe. Nicholas forgot half his vows, and the cake collapsed before they could even cut the first slice. But none of it mattered, because in the middle of the mess, the chaos, and the laughter, one thing was clear to everyone. They had found happiness in the most unexpected place. At the end of the night, as they danced barefoot under the twinkling lights of their makeshift dance floor, Nicholas leaned in and whispered in Lily's ear, "This was the most perfect wedding in the world. Even with my torn dress, the fallen cake, and my dad crying so much he fainted? Especially because of that," he smiled. Nicholas cupped Lily's face, both of them still laughing as the slow music played in the background. "With you, even chaos feels perfect," he said, his eyes shining. "Then get ready, because I'm a hurricane," she replied, pulling him in for a kiss filled with love, laughter, and the certainty that together they would always find a way to turn any disaster into the happiest moment of all. What did you think of Nicholas and Lily's story? Share your thoughts in the comments. On a scale from 0 to 10, what's your rating? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch all our stories. And check out more emotional stories by clicking here on the final screen.